Hi, it's Natasha from Helping to Reconnect Counseling Services with my fiance, Christian. He purposely told me to say fiance today. He's like, stop saying partner. And I was like, no, it's the right word. Anyways, just so you know, we have created a YouTube channel. It's called Therapy with Natasha. So please subscribe, and then you can check out all of our other videos as well. Today, we're going to kind of talk about what we've learned in past relationships that kind of make our relationship better. We weren't always perfect. Ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. We're still not perfect, but we've definitely grown and learned in other relationships that we've been in to make us better, to kind of, for us, right? To make things work a little bit better. And I always even tell my clients whenever people go through a breakup, I always say, stop looking at the other person and everything that the other person did wrong, and look more at things that you could have done differently, because moving forward, you're probably sometimes not going to get back with the other person. So what's the point of focusing on what they did wrong? Let's focus on what I could have done differently instead. And Christian and I have talked a lot about our past relationships and things that we kind of did that maybe we could do differently in this one. And it seems to have worked. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. So one thing that I noticed that I could have done different is when I was in past relationships, I was a very black and white thinker. I still have a little trouble with this, but I'm a lot better than what I was before. So what I mean by a black or white thinker is that I had my idea of what a relationship should be. So this is how people should behave in relationships. You should see each other this amounts of time a week. You should give each other space when they're working. You should do this. You should do this, rather than me interpreting it as this is how I see a relationship, but that's not necessarily how other people may view relationships. And this world is way more full of gray than it is than black and white, right? Sure. So I think now I'm a little bit more open, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and kind of saying, oh, how do you see things, or what do you think how this should be done in a relationship, right? Yeah. And kind of getting your opinion on things.
The communication is two ways rather than just, singular, like one way.
Right. Like I'm not dictating what's okay and not okay in the relationship. Right. We're having more discussions of what's okay and not okay. Whereas I think before it might have been more of a dictatorship.
Like a my way or the highway type
Correct.
Of deal. Right.
Yeah. So I definitely learned from that. Maybe you can share what you've learned in past relationships.
I think for me, one big thing was prioritizing the relationship. I learned how to, I guess, putting it kind of at the forefront, or representing it properly to other people. So I think in the past, maybe it was an aspect of my life, a relationship, but it wasn't really put at the forefront or represented properly to other people who may be interacting with me in my life. So I think that was something that I took away from past relationships, is that just kind of put your current relationship, if it is a meaningful one, put your relationship at the forefront of your life, because I'm not saying that you have to allow a relationship to really define who you are or whatever, but at the end of the day, if it's going to be a meaningful relationship, it should be made very clear to other people and to just anyone that you interact with.
Kind of making it a priority is really important, because if you're going to have that person involved in your life, then they need to know your friends and your family and, and all of that stuff, and know that, relationships take work, right? So think about how much effort you put into your job. If you're a good worker, you work 40 hours a week, sometimes people more. So look at all the effort it takes to be a good employee or whatever it is that you do. A relationship takes just as much, if not more work, to kind of make it a successful relationship, right? And Christian and I even book off, he sees in the calendar, and I book Christian and Natasha Day. And basically that means either we book off work or we choose a Saturday and we say we don't have any distractions, and it's just a day for you and I to kind of be together and spend that time.
I think it's together. Important because, a lot of people, we're all busy, we all have our lives, and it's really important to make that time for your relationship. Even just as you were saying that, it kind of brought to my memory a thing that one of my close friends does with his wife. They put their kids to bed, and even if their kids are giving them a hard time, he just kind of instills in them that this is mommy and daddy time.
Yep.
You know, like this is our time. So, you know, you need to go to bed, and that's just like a rule essentially in the household. You know, that they gotta have mommy and daddy time. I think it's important. You know, a couple needs
Agreed.
that.
Agreed. And then the other thing that I've learned is to show a partner appreciation. And I remember one ex-partner, like he really said, like, you don't appreciate anything that I do. And I've heard that even from Christian, like a little bit once in a while, but not as prominent as I might have heard it before. And I think that it's looking at your partner, and sometimes we see things as like expectations. Well, they should be doing that, but that doesn't mean that you can't appreciate them for it, right? So Christian's generally the cook in the house, and just because maybe I see that as like, oh, that's his role, doesn't mean that I can't show appreciation and say, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate this, and kind of showing him how much that means to you. And I hope I do show you that,
You
like
do.
Appreciation.
You do.
Because I'm a terrible cook. People don't want to eat my cooking.
Yeah, and we touched on that in a previous video, I think, too. Like,
Yeah.
you, if you show that appreciation, then it makes the person realize that what they did was recognized,
Yeah.
And it just kind of makes them want to do it again if they know that, you know, it meant something to you, or it helped in any way,
100%.
right?
100%. So appreciation is key, and thanking your partner and just showing them that you love them and you care for them and you notice those little things that they're doing on a daily basis. Do you have one more thing that kind of you learned?
I know I had a couple things on the top of my head, but I'm trying to think of maybe one good one. I know obviously the prioritizing the relationship is important. I think probably just establishing boundaries for me, like just kind of knowing that if you have a partner that you foresee a relationship with, and you have like a future in mind with them, to really just kind of establish those boundaries and be very crystal clear about what you feel is okay in a relationship and what you feel is not, and then hear what your partner has to say about that, and ensure that the two parties are in line with about those things.
And I know we spoke about that in a previous video, and even when talking to Christian and talking to Christian's mom, his mom even notes that he's changed a lot in this relationship, more
Right.
so than in other relationships.
Yeah, she actually said that.
And she actually outwardly said that, and I think maybe it's showing that, you know, he has in mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, what he wants for his future, and that would involve me. So making sure that he does prioritize me and show people that it doesn't really matter how you guys feel. Like, this is what I want in my life, right? And if you're gonna like be a part of my life, you've got to accept Natasha as part of my life, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think you just added maybe a third thing for me right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've taken away from past relationships too. I think it's just like almost standing up for yourself in a way. Like, it doesn't have to sound as stringent as that, but definitely
Standing up for the relationship.
standing up, yeah, like for what you want, right? So instead of really focusing on how I can, or what I can do to, you know, make someone else's situation or someone else's feelings about a certain thing better, I think took away that I should just focus on what is important to me and what makes me happy. And I mean, my hope, I guess, is for you to be in line with that, and for the things that make me happy, you would either be okay with, or you would want to nurture yourself. Yeah, like I think truly trying to live your life to make someone else happy it's just not gonna be a long-term solution to anything.
Right.
It could be a short-term one, but it won't be a long-term one. I think if you're truly happy inwardly, then people around you will just naturally
Right.
be happy, right?
So like I was explaining to Christian yesterday, maybe I said, I see Christian as more like an extension of myself, and I hope that he sees me as like an extension of him. So I always want to present our relationship in a positive light. And I want everybody, my friends and family, to see Christian in a positive light. I don't want them to see him negatively. So it's important for me that everybody sees us as a unit and not as like anybody can come in between us. Like, we're together, and and that's what we want to kind of exude. And I think that that's extremely important
Right.
in a relationship. Thank you so much, guys, for watching our video. Subscribe to Therapy with Natasha, and you can see all of the other videos that we've done on communication and core values and all that fun stuff. And have a great week.
Yep.
Take care.
See you guys.